With a vision that spans the entire globe, we at WonGeneration aim to discover the gifts, generate passion, and meet the needs of individuals and their missions. Our unique vision supports ministries all around the world, and each of those ministries have their own diverse goals and objectives.
We are all part of kingdom work. Whether it's someone who's feeding homeless people or someone who's providing back-to-school supplies for kids who can't afford it, or an after-school arts program for underprivileged kids. We're all part of the kingdom, but it doesn't always feel that way. Sometimes we feel like there's nothing beyond, well, our arm. WonGeneration seeks to do more than that. We seek to come alongside of these people, to provide wise counsel, to provide encouragement, prayer, relationship, really to be a family. For example, OneGen Central Community Services, who is working specifically with the working poor. Just recently, a man whose life has been falling apart because of the responses of his ex-wife turning into a drug addict, and he's about to lose his home with his 3 girls. Instead, he found a solution that means he's not on government subsidy, but he'll be able to keep his house, feed his family healthy, and have people who are walking alongside of him as he goes through a most difficult challenge in his life. Another example, Heavenly Goals Ministries. Ultimately, the goal of the ministry is to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with people and kids through the use of soccer. But more importantly as well, they have a chance to live out community. One of the teams in a Kick-It community in Uganda recently pooled all of their money together. Remember, they don't have a lot. This is a very poor community, but they pooled their money together to buy a number of food staples. Then they divided all of that up, repackaged it, and distributed it to very, very poor homes within their community. There was one woman who was in tears because she had gone 3 months without sugar. And this was the first time that in months that she'd experienced that sweetness. And I look at the bigger picture because that sweetness was ultimately given because of Jesus Christ. Another example, dealing with sex trafficking, specifically in Thailand. This is one that always pains me. Recently, I had an opportunity to sit across the table and have dinner with a girl I will call Blue. Blue is 27. She has never been to school. She was sold for the first time at age 4. She was sold again at age 11. The only life that she has known has been working in or around prostitution and bars. To give her an opportunity, to give her the opportunity to step out of the bar into another place that is safe, where nobody is asking anything from her at all, other than she be willing to move her own life forward. To give her an opportunity for a job, an opportunity for education, and an opportunity to be around people who love her, again, in the name of Jesus, and allow for her life to be redeemed. The fun part, it's not just her life. She has an 11-year-old daughter who now has a future that's much brighter than Blue's was ever going to be. Our primary focus for each of the ministries is ultimate sustainability. How do we help this ministry move down the road in such a manner that it continues on? If God's calling this person for kingdom work in this environment, then we have to be responsible to say, how do we keep this going? So it's looking to say, what are next steps towards that? Either from a financial standpoint, from an aspect of volunteerism, education and training, so that ministry leaders have the best capability of making their ministry be all that God's calling it to be. To help cover all of these, from an administrative side, OneGeneration takes approximately 6 to 10% of the donations or the gifts that are given to individual ministries. For that amount, we provide all of the oversight, the insurance, the administration, bookkeeping, the CPA, all the costs associated with running a nonprofit and a 501c3. We do that so that the individual ministries don't have to. The most important part is that every single person has an opportunity to do something in the kingdom. God calls each and every one of us. The challenge part we recognize is that sometimes we have this feeling inside that God's calling us, and we need someone who encourages us, somebody to pray with us, somebody to say, hey, that's a great idea, and we'll help you to take next steps. That's why we exist. Individually, we cannot solve all of the world's problems, but collectively, we can take a huge dent out of it. What's God calling you to do today?